a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner.
Hello and welcome back to I Wani Hug That Gator. There's a few structures out here, save for one at the edge of the cliff. Ben's the first one out of the cramped car with an armful of telescoping black stands. I follow his example, unloading the vehicle. Alright, you two, remember what you're doing here tonight. Yes, sir. After we set up the photo stations in the corner of the hall, we'll be taking turns walking the reception and taking pictures of guests. Perfect. I'll be with the wedding party the entire time. So if you need me, just look for the gaggle of similarly dressed women screeching and you'll find me. He grins as he carries the last of the lightest equipment from the trunk. Remember, this is actual work, so be polite, be efficient, but most importantly, Ben and I sit upright at attention, ready for any order our teacher will give us. Have fun. Trust me, the clients will appreciate it more. Finally finished with the unloading, I inhaled the mixture aroma of the ocean and flowers. While I find the scent energizing, Ben seems to have the exact opposite reaction. His brow pinches together in disgust as he tries to, in futile, to fan away the air with one hand while covering his nose with the other. I think I'm going to be sick on the sick one next with this weather. At least the view's great. That it is, yeah. Mr. Latican led us through the small garden in front and into the reception hall. It's a spacious wedding tent adorned with all sorts of flora and high-end lighting, keeping the place warm and lit. Okay, you guys know how to set up here. I'm going to get to business. Yes, sir. He leaves us stepping into the ongoing ceremony with a primed camera and tripod. Ben and I exchange a single glance before we both resign ourselves to the daunting task. First on the list is the telescopic stands for the cameras. From experience, it doesn't take us too long to get those in place. Next are the reflectors and strobe lights, all packed in heavy cases that have to be hauled inside. By my third case, I'm already exhausted. Shoot, I thought gym class would have prepared me for this. Psst. My phone buzzes. Might as well take a breather. Opening the notifications, I discover it's from Olivia. Hey, Shades. Hi, Olivia. You got the service back? Oh, I lied about that. Saw you leave with Latican after school. What's up with that? I'm helping him with the wedding photo shoot. What? You at a wedding? Did Latican give you a better jacket for it? My jacket's cool enough. So, where at? She said someplace in Clarkson. Look out on the way over. Wait, really? That place has a bunch of scenic views. If you see any good landscape shots, take one for me. Sure, if I get the time. Do it. Do it now. No, do it now. Cute and threatening message received. Geez, well, this is a good spot as any. The sun's starting to set, so it does make a pretty nice atmosphere. Maybe Olivia wants to paint another landscape? In the distance, I see a few sailboats and yachts. Further beyond, a freighter or two. The seas sure are crowded these days. I take a picture and send it over to Olivia. Thanks. I can't picture thanking me like that in reality. The thought alone of her doing something in so sweet a manner. Inko! This thing weighs like 80 pounds. I'm not doing all the work. Oh, right. I let my camera hang loose around my neck while assisting Ben in setting up the last of the stand reflectors. Setting up meant not only the cameras, but a large chunk of the incomplete decor prep. which meant carrying loads out and loads. Loaded with strobe reflectors, cloth sheets, and so many telescoping pole stands. Following his instructions, Ben had set up a small red carpet path leading to a glamour shot station. And meanwhile, I was finishing making sure the marked out spots within the room had the right combination of flash strobes and or reflectors. By the time our teacher had come back, I had just placed the final light in position. As guests start walking down Ben's handmade path, I skirt along the edge with my borrowed high-end camera. Oh God, look at it. The DSLR clicks are muted compared to the chattering guests, and while I think I managed to catch some decent shots, I'm just not really feeling it today. Is something wrong with me? And voila! Ben was having a much easier time working at the makeshift studio we'd built in the corner. Couples would simply walk up and stand before the backdrop of the massive window to the cliff of the ocean. And Ben had the brilliant idea to not only set up Latican's loaned cameras, but also his own so he'd capture the couples from 2 angles at once. He looked happy with each and every shot he took, and the people always chatted him up right after. And here I am, doing my best not to scowl as I look over the blurry shots I had messed up. Blurry because my hands are shaking. Guess my nerve... Hadn't noticed till now that my main messaging app had been going off. Hardly. I think Ben's turning it into a competition. Are you winning? Not really. Beat him for me. That wasn't a real message. I try to ignore my phone now. I don't think anything will calm my nerves at this point. That feeling of anxiety only grows as time marches on. I can't seem to get any pictures just right, and Ben zooms around as efficiently as he isn't helping. Well, that's not great. Olivia's messages are just throwing me off. Just break his flash stick thingy. Wow. Then his pics will be super dark. How out of date is Olivia to think we still use flash pans? Or lock him in the bathroom or something. I don't think that's sportsmanlike or legal. Or legal. Oh, I just remembered I need another pic. Can you try shoving him into the wedding cake and take a picture of him smashed on the floor? I need it for, Muse. That. Do it for me. Come on, that's just violent. Just barely within my peripheral vision, I spot a perfect shot of an older couple, the parents of the groom, I believe. There's that good chance. I bring the borrowed camera up, look through the viewfinder, and see that the parents have already moved away and into another group. The camera slips from my grip, but luckily the neck strap holds it safely against my chest. Okay, I need a break. I find an appropriate place to sneak outside and go around the building, slumping against the brick siding. It really is twilight now, and the ocean reflects the sun is getting very close to meeting the real thing. My phone buzzes once more, and something in me jumps. It's not fear, though. I just wish I knew what it was. Olivia sends a video of Guts running around a maze she put together using cardboard and school supplies. When he comes out the other end, she gives him a grape to eat a grape to bite into her palm. Aw, I was never really fond of rodents, but seeing Olivia's videos and little doodles is really starting to sway me. There's something about Olivia having such a strong bond with Guts and caring for him that's warming my heart. It's hard to believe that this is the same girl that used to give me nothing but icy stares when we first met. I'm glad she feels comfortable enough with me to let her defenses down and be herself. As I continue snapping photos, my trek around the hall to find good photo ops leads me to the stage where the DJ once was. Shame I didn't get any good shots of him while he was here. Maybe Ben got some decent pictures? Looking through the camera lens, I see that there's a gentleman sitting on the steps leading up to the stage, finishing a cigarette. There's someone over the steps taking a deep drag of a cigarette and blowing the smoke towards the window. A truly iconic display of suavity. Before I know it, I'm taking several shots. He seems like he wants to be left alone, but he doesn't seem mind right. Hey kid. Oh! Oh shit, it's the taxi driver. What the fuck? Why is Monarch here? Dino Arc? What do we call him? At least get my good side, will ya? Oh! I step closer, readjusting my camera setting and scrambling for an explanation. Sorry about that, I was unsure if you wanted the attention. It's alright. People say I got a kinda restin' bitch face. Though I can't lie, I'm pretty exhausted, kid. Especially after I had to carry a new missus down the aisle all the way to the car. Ah, so this is the groom. So, you gonna take a photo or what? Good on him! Alright, sorry. I raise the camera and the groom takes a thinking-esque pose, taking a drag from his cigarette. After a few clicks and a couple slightly adjusting to my position, I believe to get some pretty good shots in there. There we are. The groom blows out a plume of smoke from his mouth before leaning over to see the captures. Smells like a Vegas hotel. I give the groom time to look at each photo thoroughly before moving to the next one. He's a pretty good kid. Managed to make this mug of mine look halfway decent. He lets out a scratchy chuckle as he takes another puff of his cigarette before snuffing what little was left out of it onto the floor. Thanks. Say, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing all the way over here? It's your big day, isn't it? Look, kid. Everyone needs like 5 minutes. Look at all these people. Do you know what crowds do to me? As the groom lets out another plume, he's already begun to dig up another cigarette. Lighting a new cig casually, he begins to inhale it. And keeps inhaling it. That man is gonna fall. He holds up a finger as he continues inhaling until the cigarette is finished, and he finally exhaling a stream of lung cancer slowly over the course of 30 seconds. Sir? Of course it is. Just having a little rest is all. I mean, this has been the happiest day of my life, but it's tiring as hell. The missus is certainly having fun, and yet in another few hours when we're in our no longer bachelor pad, I'll be listening to her as she moans about how sore she is. The groom lets out another plume of smoke, this time through his nostrils. But hey, if that's the price I gotta pay, holy matrimony and all that jazz. Definitely feels like the groom is laying it on a bit thick to who is essentially a stranger to him, and yet I can understand what he means. You know, you've been going around the whole reception snapping photos. Why don't you take a break too? He motions his hand to a nearby stage as an available seat. I settle myself on stage as the groom then fiddles with a small packet, looking closer. It's still sealed pack of cigarettes. Trent told me about you, you know. Who? The camera teacher, or whoever he's called at your school. He says you're a good kid and all, though a bit clueless. Hey! The groom lets out another guffaw as he cracks open the pack of cigarettes and plucks out a few fresh cancer sticks. His words, not mine. How do you know him? We've known each other for ages. He actually helped me meet the missus. Funny how that works out. Whoa, Mr. Latican was your wingman? He always hated how I told him that. I'd give him a lift to some field trip and he had the chaperone. Dunno why. He could have just taken the school bus. Sir, have you dealt with teenagers? Yeah, I get it. The cab is better. But as I got there, I met the rest of his coworkers. Oh my god, I know who he married. Including my would-be wife. Petro prick tricked me into also chaperoning too, saying I could use the time to get to know her better. Geez, maybe I should be asking him. Well, no, I can't. Can't what? Nothing important. Have a teacher tell you how to court a lady friend, right? Hey, no. Another one of his students, your classmate, yeah? It's not like that. Aw, come on, I know you want to talk about girls. That's always fun. Humor me a bit. She's just a good friend. The word tastes bitter in my tongue for some reason. Sure, kid, sure. We've got a few more minutes of quiet while Bridezilla and her maids are murdering fight over the bouquet. Quickly glance over to see a woman twice my age wielding a folding chair like it was a battle axe. Trent can't help you there, but I can. So this good friend of yours, what's she like? Well, it's a bit complicated history. Oh? I mean, when I first met her, she was very cynical and sarcastic. Well, she's still sarcastic, but in a lighthearted way. Even with her friends, she was a little distant. But when she's painting or gushing about some franchise or obscure anime, there's this unashamed excitement and passion in it. I haven't met anyone with that kind of energy before. Once you know her, she's just nice under it all. That everything? Well, yeah. I think she drew me carrying her once. Well, shoot. He slides a ring off and holds it to me. You want this? Sounds like you're gonna need it more than me. Kidding, I'm kidding. But dang, sounds pretty cute and dry to me. Never had a crush before? Not on anyone I know personally. Your folks together? Yeah. They love each other too, yeah? Yeah, I guess they do. You guess? It's complicated. They're around so little, I don't even know what their love looks like, how they interact. If they even love each other after all. They never told me their story, why they're together. Anything that would prepare me for the future was outsourced. As far back as I remember, whenever my parents weren't around, there was always a screen nearby. And they weren't around often. I always had a little electronic friend in my pocket telling me how great I was at everything. That's been my only help to get through life. All the best ways to have the best friendship, hobbies, romance. It feels worthless now and I'm not prepared. I don't even know what it is to love. This guy seems to think so though. He'll help me out. I see him putting some words together now. Let me give you a little anecdote, kid. The groom finally lights the cigarette, though this time he's slow to puff on it. Oh, she's pretty. See my beautiful bride over there? He motions the dull ember of his smoke to where the bridesmaids were still violently wrestling. The bride acted as referee. Even if we had never met, and this was a happy stance meeting, I'd see her over there, and I'd just know I love her. Yeah? Yep. Is that it? Yeah. Aren't you trying to give me a little push to convince me I like this girl? You're the one who wanted advice. There it is. I thought you were going to go on a bit more about love. What the hell would I give a speech about love? I know what it is, you know what it is. But there's no groundbreaking advice that'll make everything make sense, and you don't need me to convince you about that. You're just looking for some reason to not believe what's right in front of you. Oh. Break's over, gotta run. The man gets up, dusting off his pants, and flicking the cigarette butt into the trash can. Hey, take some great pictures for me, will ya? No more moping, you on the clock. He jogs into the crowd to meet up with his bride. My phone buzzes in my pocket. What timing? I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone, squinting at the screen. An unread notification from our group chat. Shoot, do you have time to be on my phone right now? Maybe I can talk to Damien about this. He's known Olivia for a while. Ben and Olivia used to be friends too, right? Would he be able to help? I should probably focus on what I'm here to do. Besides, I don't want to let the groom down. But this is Olivia we're talking about. I don't want to do anything without knowing as much as I can. I would focus on work and then do it. I can't afford to slack off right now. Besides, I made a promise to the groom and I don't want to let him down. Or Mr. Latican, for that matter. I silence my phone and slide it into my jacket pocket, pushing off the wall and taking hold of my camera. Where should I even start? I think I have a few ideas. With the groom's words still ringing in my ear, I find a second wind of sorts. I can't really understand it, but I feel like I'm already picking out prime shots for just scanning over the hall. While Ben has continued his more autonomous, rapid-fire approach with the staccato clicking of his snapshots, I've been singling out couples and their own moments just scattered throughout. I think some of them have even noticed, seeming to maneuver themselves out of the parasaur's view. Young man, over here! An elderly dino catches my attention, waving to me to her table where she and her family are sitting. We need a good Christmas card photo, if you'd be so kind. Of course, ma'am. The large group moves to one side of the table for me, smiling sincerely at my lens. The first shot seemed perfect, but for the sake, I make sure to take a couple extra. Thank you. Do you know how long this will take to be developed? The photos should be developed fairly quickly. We'll be sure to get everyone these before the end of the month. They smile and nod, letting me return to, don't forget us. Yeah, get me and my wife. My next clients pull me aside and take shots from them in a secluded corner. And after that, some of the bridesmaids have grabbed me to take shots for them. It isn't long before even some of the servers are wanting pictures of themselves posing in front of the decorations. Somehow I'm able to squeeze my way out of the mayhem to make my way towards the back of the venue in order to get some much-needed fresh air. Shortly after, I noticed Ben doing the same, though he managed to do so far more gracefully by taking his way out of whatever requesting wedding-goers have had for him. Makes me wish I was better at communicating and asserting myself in these kinds of situations. Ben takes notice of me and approaches at a very casual pace, with no one else seemingly taking notice of him. Taking a breather? I just give Ben a nod of my head, causing him to smile and adjust his glasses with his index finger. Well, the wedding is almost finished, so the worst of the workload's behind us. That was good. Ben checks his phone. 8 hours? Jeez. Man, yeah, my legs are starting to hurt. You're telling me you don't even have a tail. How do you think I feel? We sigh together. It's the first bit of silence we've had in a while. Across the room, the bride slumps into a chair, trying to kick her heels off. The groom sees me and shrugs a bit, smirking. So, how are you feeling about the pictures you've taken? I think I'm pretty confident in mine. Once you have the right equipment, it's just a matter of socializing right and getting a right shot for those sorts of events. I'm satisfied. You? Honestly, I'm not sure. I've been taking all kinds of pictures, but it's like something's missing. Missing? You make it sound like some grand art thing. I know. Back across the room, the bride motions to her new husband. Looks like it's the right time for him to carry her out in his arms like in all the movies. She was probably not expecting those slick moves to position her on his back like a child. He laughs to himself while she pouts loudly and holds onto his hair to keep from balance. Aww. Oh, it is Miss Monarch. Oh my god, look at his tail. Aww. I love it. It looks juvenile, honestly, as the bride taps at the exhausted groom's head with balled up fists, but he's laughing. A laugh so infectious that her pouts is replaced by delighted giggles of her own when he finally catches her hand in his and just holds it. Once again, they're talking, and the bride is melting into putty at his quiet words. For how menial it is, and how crude that guy was earlier, that understanding and genuine playfulness between them. Without a thought, I'm already looking through the viewfinder and making the focus adjusting for the perfect shot. The shot is cheesy but sincere. They both look beyond exhausted, their clothes showing the wear and tear of the night and their body language screaming they need for sleep. And also the smiles they have as they try and look at each other in their awkward positions, speaking metric volumes just how happy they are after it's over. Why'd you do that? Huh? Do what? You took a picture just now. Did I? When did my finger get placed over the shutter button? I guess I did. I check the new entry to the camera roll. Careful, that's an easy way to waste a lot of memory. Should probably just delete it. Delete it, huh? I think it'll be fine. I actually got a good feeling about it. It seemed pretty natural, you know? Ben rolls his eyes. If you say so. Before the parasaur turns to go back to his assembly line photo taking, I grab his shoulder. By the way, Ben. Mia stopped by our lunch table earlier today to complain to Olivia. Oh boy. Said you were trying to call her, but was upset she wasn't picking up. I don't want to pry into your personal business, but aren't you two on bad terms? Huh? What are you talking about? What? I haven't spoken to Olivia in ages. Huh? I thought you were above gossip, Pinko. Sorry, Alright, you boys ready to pack up? Pretty long night, huh? Our teacher looks haggard as he steps up to us. His wings are dragging on the floor and he's propping himself up with one of the light stands we'd brought. Despite his exhaustion, he's grinning wildly. You two enjoying your first work experience? Oh, absolutely, Mr. Latican. I managed to load up both of the memory cards you gave to me, and I even managed to try out the different kinds of lenses you had brought. Good to hear, Ben. What about you, Inko? Well, if I'm being honest with you, it took a while for me, Mr. Latican. Well, I suppose it is a tough order to start with. So many things to account for, and... Oh no, I meant that I didn't really get that many good shots till the end, Mr. Latican. I didn't even finish the first card you gave me. I see. Well then. Well, when we go through these next week, I'm sure they'll be fine. Oh, definitely. The groom saunters up with a huge grin on his face, slinging an arm around our teacher's shoulders. I can't wait to see him. The Latican straightens up and shrugs the arm off, turning to the newly married man. You'll see them when you see them. My team still needs to go through all the pictures and weed out the chaff. Ah, come on, T. Can't you give your buddy a preview or something? Latican sighs a bit. Hey, it's your special day. Ben, could you go fetch the laptop and the card reader? Yes, sir. Ingo, while he's doing that, can you start packing up everything into the trunk? Sure thing, Mr. Latican. Before I turn away to start, the tired Petro takes the camera from me. We can sit at the table over there. The two older men head off, leaving Ben and I to get started on packing everything up. Well, Ben and I are busy dismantling a multitude of standing flashes and lamps. The bride and groom and Mr. Latican sit at a cleaned-up table with a laptop before them. I can't really make out what they're saying, but I can kind of tell that based on the way the three switch between quietly focused and laughing loudly. By the time the back of the car is loaded, the last of the wedding party has departed. Nothing left to do, Ben and I linger a bit behind the group. Yeah, these turned out pretty dang great. Thanks again. Ah, hello, what's this? The laptop displays the last picture I took, somewhat unintentionally. He scans the photo with a critical eye, and nods and chuckles with approval. Okay, kid, good job. Be sure to print this one out for me, Trent. I'm gonna put it in my wallet. Sure. Despite how lackluster his compliment is, I can't help but feel proud of my work. It's been a while since I felt like this. Either way, it's not long before we climb into the car and begin our journey back to school. I settle into the rhythmic motion of the car as it glides along the road. The cityscape of Volcadra Bluff passes by, and I can't help but admire it. The mood is quickly killed, however, as Ben calls a certain red-scaled girl. The saturine, lovey-dovey talk makes my head hurt, and I can't guess by his expression that Latican feels the same way. He changes the subject by asking if my parents can pick me up. Looks like I'll be taking the late-night metro home. Still, I had fun today. I bring out my own phone, noticing a half-dozen messages Olivia had sent while I was busy. Guts beat me to some flower seeds that Ben could win. Guts bet me on some flower seeds that Ben would win. While there were more messages, that one in particular had me thinking. I mean, it wasn't competition to begin with, but there was also the fact that the groom hadn't complimented any of Ben's shots, so... Collect your winnings, Olivia. That's so cute. Good job, Agent. You deserve a reward for your hard work. Reward? What kind of... Oh my. Would she really? She knows that I'm with Ben and Latican. The interior of the car feels a few degrees warmer as I wait with bated breath. Inko, are you okay? You're breathing pretty hard. Fine, perfectly fine. Just a car sick. I make sure there's absolutely no way anyone can view my screen. As an extra protection, I dim the brightness of it to the point that only I'd be able to see a thing in the darkness of the car. Finally, Olivia's text comes through. I hold my breath before opening my eyes to see. Right. Mr. Latican, I think Inko's about to vomit. Not in here! In hindsight, I should have seen that coming, seeing as I'm in love with her and all. Damn my hormones. Even though we're pretty far into the fall... Okay, so this is where we start the next one. So, thank you guys for joining me for more I Wani Hug That Gator! I'm really enjoying this, and hopefully you are too. Have a wonderful day, everybody.